Tony Khan, it is time to close your eyes, close the forbidden door, close your bank account because the AEW Dynamite ratings are in and they do not look good. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, and once again, Dynamite is slipping right under the 700k mark, and for the first time in a long time, for the first time in, I want to say, maybe even a year, or close to a year, AEW Dynamite has lost in the ratings to NXT.
It's not good, but you know what? I thought it would be worse. Because the NBA finals were on. There was a lot of viewers to be won for that, but there was a lot more to be lost. And you know what? I actually think they've done alright. I'm not defending them, but I think that I was expecting maybe below 600k.
Yeah, now there was a 6-week period last year around the summertime where AEW Dynamite was victorious in 3 weeks and NXT was victorious in 3 weeks. I believe that NXT beat Dynamite in like 3 out of 5 weeks. So, yeah, it's been a while though since that happened. This week though, it has happened. NXT got over 700k. Dynamite though got under 700k with a rating of 681,000 and a demo of 0.23. Now, in terms of Dynamite's ratings, I mean, this isn't the lowest rating Dynamite's had in that long, to be honest. It's their lowest since the May 15th edition. So Dynamite is kind of used to getting these low sort of numbers, but what we did say was that NXT's numbers have increased and that sooner or later, the next time that Dynamite did slip under 700k, the likelihood would be that they would also slip below NXT. And that's exactly what's happened, because NXT the last 3 weeks have been over 700k for 3 weeks in a row. And before this week, Dynamite was getting not decent ratings, but they were pretty close to the 800k mark. They were somehow just staying above NXT, but this week it didn't happen. Like I said, lowest number there, lowest viewership since May 15th. However, it is the lowest Dynamite demo since June 24, 2020. So we're talking nearly 4 years.
Well, it may as well be 4 years. I mean, we're talking
almost. Fucking close enough. We're talking
4 years. It was in the heart of COVID.
206 weeks.
206 weeks is a lot of weeks, but I wonder what was so special about that show. It was probably something to do with the election, I would say. Could have been.
The election?
Well, maybe it was a debate, but it doesn't really matter. It was COVID, it was special times, there was no crowd or whatever, but here, 4 years? That's a long ass time.
It is a long ass time now. Obviously, there was NBA Finals on, so you had that. There was a USA Soccer's match on, which actually averaged less numbers here than Dynamite, so not great there. NXT, though, did a higher demo this week as well, so a higher viewership overall and a higher demo than Dynamite. Not very good. Now, last week, Dynamite did 790,000 viewers. This week, like I said, 681,000, so over 100,000 down. Lost 14% in the viewership, and in the demo last week it did 0.28. This week it did 0.23, down 18% in the demo. So yeah, just down for AEW, and it was a pretty crappy show, to be honest. Now, I know Daniels tried to come out and hype it up, saying that there was 2 big title matches, but I thought the show was shit, to be fair. And probably one of the worst Dynamites I've seen in a long time. So if you're going up against competition, you at least need a pretty decent show to try and combat that competition. And I don't think Dynamite had it this week. They normally don't have it, but I think this week was extra shit.
No, it was extra shit. You have the main event, a world title match, well, whatever that international title match that you know is not going to switch hands. Come on, everybody, it's summertime. I mean, no one cares about Christopher Daniels, man. I mean, I'll be interested to see with the quarters, but I would have said the best quarter of Dynamite would have been the opening one. That's when you had like everyone out there that was like half relevant. I liked the Jericho Learning Tree segment, but apart from that, man, you had some pretty either sloppy or just boring wrestling. And when the NBA Finals are on, man, who's going to be picking this shite?
Yeah, who is going to be picking this shite? I think the question to that is not many people, but everything down, down, down for Dynamite. Let's look at the clips and see what was done there. Well, actually, first of all, we'll look at cage match. We'll look at cage match ratings because Tony Khan.
They're the ones that matter.
Yeah,
we're the sickos.
This is we're the sick pieces of shit that watch this crap. So, according to Tony Khan, the cage match ratings are the holy grail of professional wrestling. 8.07 rating, Ray Phoenix versus Will Ospreay. 7.98, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong and the Don Callis family. 7.08, Sheik versus Mercedes Moné. And Dustin Rhodes versus Jack Perry got a 5.51.
I'm sorry, right? Whoever's rating Susis and Mercedes Moné above Dustin Rhodes and Jack Perry needs their head looked at, man. Because I actually thought that match was alright. I think it was a bit needless with the spots on the concrete. But I wouldn't say it was a sloppy match. That Moné match was sloppy written over it.
Well, let's get a look at the sloppy YouTube views for the videos. So coming in first place, 259,000 views. Will AEW champion Swerve Strickland be the Elite's fifth man at Blood and Guts? So there you go. That's that. Second place, 185,000 views. Complete chaos. Things heat up between MJF and Rush.
Couldn't be any cooler, could it be?
Third place, 170,000 views. International champ Will Ospreay versus Ray Phoenix in an incredible title match. Fourth place, 97,000 views. TNT title qualifier. Scapegoat Jack Perry versus the natural Dustin Rhodes. Fifth place, 96,000 views. Samoa Joe and Hook with Shibata taking on Team Premier Athletes. Sixth place, 82,000 views. TBS champion Mercedes Moné takes on rising CMLL star Suix. Not a great place for Mercedes Moné to be. You know, that big money contract, biggest paid female in wrestling. And she's down in sixth place here on the total viewers, trailing some shite, really. In this, you look at the numbers.
It confirms what we knew, though. We knew she'd come in and do relatively well in these numbers, but here, people are pinning blame on Susus, right? And she's not good. I'm not going to pretend she is, but
here,
if Mercedes Moné was a fucking draw, she would carry this person to good numbers.
The Rock can take on Rodney Mack, and Rodney Mack's no bringing down The Rock.
Aye. No, that's it.
A good person elevates a bad person. If a bad person is bringing down a good person, then you really got to question how good that person really is.
Amen.
Seventh place, 75,000 views for the world champ, the Learning Tree. Chris Jericho gets more TV time. Just based on these numbers, I don't think people want Jericho to get any more TV time.
It was alright, though.
I mean, it was, but there's no doubt about it now. Jericho, week in, week out, he is finding himself in the lower end.
You know what
here.
the problem is, though, right? We like this segment, but people who watch AEW, the diehards, don't, and that's why their views are down.
But you can see why people think this is, well, it's cringy, but that's kind of what makes it good, isn't it? It's like,
don't work for me, brother.
Something that's kind of so bad, you kind of got to like it. And then 8th place, last place, we got 73,000 views. Cassidy, O'Reilly, and Briscoe taking on Take a Shitter, Fletcher, and Strong. Not surprising, just 6 bombs.
The ratings weren't very strong. They were weak, like a cup of tea.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get a strong cup of tea, but...
Nah, well, a weak cup of tea then.
Weak cup of tea there. There you go. That's it, guys. The numbers are in there. So, yeah, Dynamite beating NXT, like I said, for the first time in almost a year. I don't have the exact date, but it was a long time ago that NXT defeated Dynamite. They have been close to Dynamite the last couple of weeks, but Dynamite have just been keeping their head above water. However, the last couple of weeks, Dynamite has been doing better ratings than we probably expected. Now they're back to under 700k. Be interesting to see what happens going forward. Can NXT continue their momentum? Can they stay in the 700k mark? And can NXT stay above AEW? That's what we're going to find out. And I mean, all this talk about AEW Dynamite becoming the #1 company. Jericho used to talk about it defeating Raw, and now it's losing to the development brand. And it's losing, I'm not going to say it's losing badly, but it's losing against an NXT that is doing less numbers than it was 4 years ago. So it's like AEW's competition has got worse technically, but the competition is now beating Dynamite, which is pretty poor.
That tells you all you need to know about AEW.
Yeah, sinking ship, guys. Anyway, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Very, very poor ratings. Down 14% from last week. Will we continue to see it drop next week? I mean, it could do. I think the build to Forbidden Door has been pretty terrible. Not very interesting. The show was bad. And yeah, there's nothing really going on AEW right now. So I'm not surprised that the ratings are down. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.